Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time. Or any length of time you wanted to have. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure. And after several nights of 75 years of total pleasure each, you would say, well, that's pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. Let's have a dream which isn't under control.
Cheers to complacency, retail trading team. This is Mastro coming to you live from Puppet Show Central with your routine briefing. So we're going to begin today's video by jumping right into the warm-up. Nothing really going to happen here for me in the next 10 minutes. I need that green candle close above the pretty solid yellow line there, and really above that dotted line, or dash line rather, before I'm getting involved, or below, obviously, if we get a fake break. So we're just going to pop away from the execution chart, not much going on, just kind of carrying that speculative position I put on earlier, based on the VIX, which we're going to talk about here. And so we're going to jump right in to that warm-up document. So, really special close into overnight. So we saw the Meta earnings clearly saved the market, at least for the time being. Yet really there seems to be something else going on beneath the surface. So not to speculate on what news means, because that is for somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. Yet it seems that with that GDP number, you did not see a... So anybody who doesn't know, the GDP number came in about half expected, which is usually a recessionary signal. Ostensibly something to worry about, yet what volatility told us is quite the opposite. And we'll see what happens by the time we get to that volatility chart, but it actually looks like volatility is about to make new lows for the year. So pretty interesting reaction so far. What we have in the inventory is everything's pointing to a strong potential for a nice clean trend day. Please, market gods, give us a nice clean trend day. It will be the first one in a while, even the one the other day was not clean. We actually had a bunch of traps. Nevertheless, you're seeing that super bullish positioning in this overnight inventory. So everything's up. It's not just up, it's 100% net long. Nobody had any interest of selling it back down to the close of yesterday. And even at the open here, we do have that open test drive, that bullish open test drive. So I'm going to go ahead and add that level here, but that's going to be about 40.97 is the line to beat if you're a bear and looking for that turnaround. Until that happens, we're looking at, I think, a nice bullish look, which will be confirmed if we get a close back above that high, that IB high that we made earlier. So besides that, I do have that TPO. I'm calling it rotation right now just based on the look. Yet that can definitely and quickly turn to trend if we do open up here. So this document's updated throughout the day. It's in the description of this video if you want to keep tabs on it. I'm also updating these levels as they come up as well. So in terms of the expected move, we are currently near the top of that expected move zone. It's really interesting. As I've been saying for a couple days now, those outliers cluster. We now have 2 days in a row outside the expected move. And I guess the question is, are we going to get the same today, or are we going to get pushed back into that range? So that's what those levels are there. Kind of watch what happens near the top of this expected move zone, which is also near yesterday's high, and really where a lot of resistance supply, we'll say, seems to be clustered. So yeah, so that's a warm-up document. Like I said, updated throughout the day if you want to keep tabs on that. So we will jump from here now into our macro look. By the way, everybody, I know you're super excited to hear this, but the camera is back tomorrow, so I will be back on camera tomorrow, more than just the voice behind the mic, as they say. Okay. So here's what we got going on. This line here at yesterday's close was resistance. We popped it, put in that swing low. So now this has become support. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line altogether. Really what we're going to be watching now is the bottom of yesterday's candle there, right around that 404 strike on the SPY. Easy enough. Just very simple swing low candle as we start to target the highs here. So where am I looking for today's move? If we do get that trend move, I like the bottom of the candle from a few days ago. So just to tell you that exact level, let's get our tools window open here. Okay, so that exact level I'm looking for today is going to be 410.17 on the SPY. If we do get that trend day, that I would love to see personally, just for some nice clean movement, 410-ish on the SPY is going to be an important level. And so that's going to correspond to about 41.35, 41.40-ish on the ES here. And like I said, we'll see what happens there. There is a gap, by the way, a little higher, so we may push into that supply area that you're seeing on that macro chart, and perhaps even to the underside of these trend lines here. So, yeah, really, to me, this level that we're at now, we'll say 410 to 415. This is kind of the last stand for the Bears before we get that more significant breakout. Obviously, we can pop it and then pop right back in, but I do think that there's plenty of space to run if and when we do get above that IB high. So be watching that closely, and then watch that 410 area and up to about 412 on the SPY for that potential turnaround and or at least consolidation if we do get that trend move. So what does that look like on the TPO chart? Well, we are very close to, so this zone is now completely gone. That tentative supply is now completely gone, and we're very close to actually taking out the last of what I see of the supply here. So just kind of corresponding to what I was just talking about a few moments ago. Once we pop this consolidation, you can see all the space in the chart there, and there's a good amount of space. So yes, it may stop at this at that 410-ish level, but there's really a lot to clean up, and they may actually go more toward that gap. So I'm just kind of going to see if we don't pop this real time as we're hanging out here. And then once the supply is gone, yes, we can fake break back in. Always looking for the fake break, always looking for those traps. Yet there really is a good amount of space, and it really is a nice setup for that trend move. Okay, so we're back at that resistance, still hanging on, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this as a zone and really just draw it as a line. So that is the line in the sand for bears, in my opinion, right there, right at about this 15, 16 area. 16, I think, because you want to give it a little bit of space. So that's what I'm watching on TPO. You're seeing that double distribution start to come in right here. In the past few minutes, you have that single that we now have at about that 410 area, right at that prior day high. So again, still showing that clean trend look, and yeah, hopefully we'll get it. So I'll be watching that closely. I'm going to go ahead and update that warm-up document to double distribution, but really the levels are working out really well as it pertains to the chart. So if we go back to that warm-up document real quick here, you can see 410, 416 key levels, and I'm going to go ahead and move this double distribution until something changes. So what are we looking for now? We're looking for the price to move into a new balance. Before we enter new balance, we enter a period of imbalance. And that imbalance is where you see those big trend moves, those big extensions. And so that's where I'm kind of getting part of that assumption from. So last chart here is going to be our volatility chart, which as we speak is very close to making a new low on the year. This is a chart of the day for me. I'm borderline shocked at how much of a release that we've seen so far today. So we'll be watching to if it starts to make new lows. It's already divergent as price on is at a lower low relative to volatility's lower low, and so again lending to that high possibility of a big bullish break here. So like I said, it's really clean. I will be active on the Twitters for anybody who wants to follow along if and when it becomes relevant, but really everything that's briefing here is kind of the playbook for today until something changes. So just kind of keep tabs on our major levels. Those levels on the warp document are, I think, the most important, and obviously be watching volatility. But it seems to be setting up for, fingers crossed, a nice trend day. And if that's what we get, then I will be very thankful personally because we haven't gotten a nice clean one in a while. So I'm going to switch back to the execution chart because I'm about to get another signal here, or my first signal for Fabio today, which I'm going to take and add to that current position. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So besides that, the newsletter is going to be out right after this. You can engage with me there in the comment section of this video, or again, as I said, on the Twitters at Routine Trader. So if you did like today's content, and we'll see how it turns out, but I'm hopeful that it's going to be helpful for you today. Please give the video a like to help with that YouTube algorithm. And in any and all cases, thank you for watching, and stay classy until tomorrow.